Shannon. What the You guys have seen it, right? The $50 million lawsuit, assault allegations, his whole legacy just hanging by a thread. And he didn't get caught up because he was reckless. He got caught up because he's human. Just like you, just like me, just like any of us. So before you sit back and judge him, let's slow it down for a second. Because what's happening to Shannon is the same thing that happens when the small stuff, the stuff that feels harmless, starts stacking up behind you. Until one day it can't stay hidden anymore. It didn't just start with a headline. It all started way before that. In the quiet moments, the little habits, the choices nobody ever questions until it's too late. And here's where it hits home, because this isn't just about Shannon. It's about you. Every little pattern you excuse, every habit you let slide, it's either setting you up for the life you want or setting you up for the fall you never saw coming. And your legacy, it doesn't take a full-blown scandal to fall apart. All it takes is the appearance of misalignment. One careless moment, one misread impression, one silent pattern you thought you had under control. So instead of asking, how could Shannon let that happen? I want you to ask something a little harder. What patterns am I living right now that could cost me everything later? Because by the time we're done here, you're not just gonna spot those patterns. You're gonna know exactly how to break them before they break you. Let's dive in. You know, when you see somebody's life start to fall apart in front of everyone's eyes, it's easy to think that it was just one bad decision, one scandal, one mistake that got out of hand. But if you really slow it down, it's never just one thing, is it? It's the little stuff nobody saw, the small compromises, the energy that you let hang around when you knew better. And it's the part nobody really talks about, because all this isn't just a Shannon story. This is what happens anytime we live on autopilot. And right now, you and me, we're both living inside a set of patterns. Some of them are building something good, and some of them, if we're keeping it real, are slowly stacking against us. The tricky part is, the dangerous ones don't even feel dangerous. They feel normal, they feel harmless, and they feel easy to excuse. It's simply telling yourself, it's not that serious. Shrugging off a boundary you should have kept, telling a half-truth because it feels easier, staying connected to people you've outgrown just because it's comfortable. It's ignoring the little gut whispers that's trying to warn you. And every time you excuse it, you rehearse it. And what you rehearse becomes what you live. Until one day the cost shows up, and by then, it's already been happening for a while. We like to tell ourselves that the future is way, down the line. Something that we'll figure out when we're ready. When life, slows down. When we're in the right headspace. But the truth is, your future is already being built. Right now. In the small choices you're making every day, it's showing up in how you start your mornings, in the conversations you keep around, in the energy you let stay even when something deep down knows better. You don't stumble into your future. You practice your way into it. But here's the thing. Not every pattern you practice is setting you up to win. Some of them, they're setting you up for a fall you won't even see coming. And that's where it gets a little trickier, because the patterns that end up costing you, They don't come waving, red flags. They don't scream for your attention. They just slip in. Quiet, ordinary, harmless. At least that's how they feel at first. It's answering, that text you probably shouldn't answer. It's saying yes to something you should have walked away from. It's forgiving someone even though deep down, they haven't really changed. It feels like it's not that serious. It feels like I'll deal with it later. Because if it felt dangerous right away, you'd slam the door so hard with no hesitation. But it doesn't feel dangerous. It feels normal. It feels easy. Until one day you look up and you realize that you've been rehearsing something that's been hurting you all along. And by then you've already been carrying the weight and already living out the consequences. That's the thing about patterns. If you don't step in early, they just stay harmless. They grow, they pick up speed, they start gathering weight, and eventually they break into your life. They interrupt your peace, your relationships, your opportunities, your goddamn name. Just like they did with Shannon Sharpe. His patterns didn't just knock politely. They didn't wait their turn. They broke in. They put everything he built under a spotlight he couldn't control. And it doesn't have to happen in some big dramatic explosion either. It happens quietly, one choice at a time. Until suddenly you're standing in the middle of damage you thought you've never had to deal with. Because patterns, they don't wait for you to be ready. They don't slow down just because you're not paying attention. They move with or without your permission. Right now, something you think is no big deal is either building your empire or planting a bomb underneath it. Shannon Sharpe didn't lose everything in one night. It wasn't just one moment or one bad decision. It was the little things, the patterns he practiced without realizing how much they were really costing him. And the sad part is, people warned him.
Say what you trying to say, bro.
I'm looking right at you.
I know you looking at me.
I ain't backing down. You better take your old ass and get somebody to love you.
Damn, Mo.
Now I'm looking right at y'all. Let me tell y'all what Shannon needs.
Let me live my life.
Let me tell you what my baby needs. He need him an old fat gal who can bake good cakes, make some smothered turkey wings, who gonna rub his feet at the nighttime, okay, and gonna have a sip of his cognac to make him feel better about himself when he come home at night. That's what Shannon needs. You don't need no 26-year-old girl. You don't need no 36-year-old girl.
I do.
This is your auntie talking to you. Take your old ass and get you an old bitch out there that can love you old.
Monique tried to tell you. And honestly, it's the same for all of us, really. The life you're living right now, the future you're walking toward, is not being decided by some big event way down the line. It's happening quietly in the stuff you're rehearsing today. Maybe your patterns aren't making big headlines like Shannon's right now. Maybe nobody else even notices it, but they're shaping something. Your peace, your energy, your relationships, your reputation. And the real danger is waiting until something breaks before you finally pay attention. But you don't have to wait for that. You can see it now. You can interrupt it now. Because the patterns you protect today are the ones that are going to protect you tomorrow. So the real question isn't, am I stuck in a pattern? It's, which ones am I finally ready to break before it breaks me? And if you're building a future you can actually be proud of, you're already doing the real work. And if you need additional support, this video is just for you. Until next time.